But one that's going to unfold and come on Sunday, Burnley away. I mean, we've had a perfect start in terms of results, maybe not performances. You don't want to be derogatory about teams, but the international break, people coming back, the South American lads not getting sort of back until the early hours of Wednesday or, not that much rest and training on the field. Is Burnley away one of the ones you'd honestly pick?
If I say this now, though, will they lose? Is that how that works? I think it's a kind of fixture, isn't it? Coming up against the kind of newly promoted side, but I get the flip side of it, of course, is that, like you say, Liverpool might be a bit undercooked off the back of the international break. Atmosphere is probably going to be good. Burnley has in previous years been a tough place to go previously. Whether it is so much these days, we'll kind of see with that. But yeah, it's certainly on the kinder side of fixtures. And one where you'd like to think Liverpool can kind of stamp the mark and go there and play well and get the 3 points. But yeah, I don't want to get cocky about it just in case.
Yeah, just feels like one of those professional wins, that's all that's needed, and you move on to the next one. And people will be looking at it as well. Isak, that's bench at best for him, really, isn't it, in this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if he's going to be bench at best for quite a while, really, because he's just completely missed pre-season, hasn't he? And have to see how quickly he can get up to full speed. I don't think it's kind of a Chiesa situation like last season where he kept getting kind of knocks and niggles that were really setting him back, and that really delayed him. But it's obviously going to, Arne Slot wants him to be fully fit before we see much of him. So I think bench at best for him, really, which is. But you just love for Liverpool to get themselves in a position where he can actually come off the bench and make an impact. But we'll have to see. But yeah, hopefully we get a glimpse of him.
Yeah, even if it's 15, 20 minutes at the end against Burnley. And I mean, because we want to be respectful of Burnley, they have won one of the games. They beat Sunderland at home. They have scored 4 goals, but they have conceded 6 at the same time. There's not, again, trying to be respectful, many sort of household names in the lineup. Anything when you've looked at Burnley, you think so far that could really threaten Liverpool?
Well, I just think you've got to be careful, haven't you? Like I say, because this is kind of they've obviously been to Old Trafford, but first really, really big home fixture that they've had. So, you've got to be kind of wary of that, and the fact that the atmosphere is going to be up there. The players are going to be even kind of extra committed because these are the kind of glory fixtures that you want to get up to the Premier League for. So, it's a team that did well in the Championship last season. So, you've always got to show them that level of respect. But Liverpool, quality Liverpool should have in the squad, on the bench, the team they will be able to name. You'd like to think it's it's going to be a team that can go there and put on a good performance and win. But they're going to have to work hard to do it, no doubt about that. And particularly with Scott Parker, he can set up sometimes to frustrate you and make it really difficult and nick a win against you. So Liverpool got to be careful there, and they're going to have to play well to create chances and win. But with the quality they've got, as I say, you back them to do that. And yeah, if they can get even 10 minutes out of Isak off the bench as well, if the game's tight, I'm pretty sure that would be helpful.
It might be Isak off the bench for 10, 15 minutes, like you say. Maybe, the lineup, people will say it picks itself, but Conor Bradley's just played back-to-back for Northern Ireland. We don't know, but we're thinking Jeremy Frimpong will be close as well. Similar lineup, so Bosley staying right back for you?
That's the big question, isn't it, really? I mean, that's the one position you kind of have huge question marks over. I mean, I quite like Szoboszlai to maybe play there, but just because I like the balance and how it worked with him there, and I think he's been playing really well. But equally, you've got McAllister doing that travel, whether he's involved in the second fixture or not. Maybe actually this is a sensible one where you kind of go, well, don't need to use McAllister in this one, just starting from the bench, because we've seen after international breaks as well, before he's come back and not played, particularly well or whatever, and maybe felt that travel a little bit more than you'd like. So, maybe this is an easy one. You've got Bradley got minutes in him over the international break. He should be looking sharp, back in training nice and early. And, if he's ready, then start him and put Szoboszlai in midfield. And that's the beauty there, isn't it, of having an incredibly strong squad, which Liverpool do.
Yeah, and Curtis Jones has had the break off as well, so he should be ready to go. So there should definitely be options. And even with the Isak talk and different bits, again, it's not being big-headed. It's just the nature of this. We're not after a blitzing 5-0. It's just one of those professional sort of wins and move on. That's all anyone's after at the start of this international break, isn't it?
I'd take a 5-0 if it gets offered as well, though. You want Liverpool to kind of win a few. I said this before the start of the season. I'd like Liverpool to win games convincingly a bit more frequently than they did last season. And again, with full respect to Burnley, as I say, they will probably make us look silly, with the performance here. But this is one of the games you look at as a potential to do that. Against a newly promoted side, albeit away from home. So. You just want to see slick football and convincing wins in some of these. And Liverpool have had a really tough start, I think, on paper, whereas this one looks like a kinder one. So can you make the most of that? Can you get the goals? Can you get your key men off the pitch nice and early? That would be a real bonus for Liverpool. But as you say, the key is, regardless of how the game goes, is to get out of there with the 3 points.
Especially with Atletico coming up in the same week as well. Yeah, any sort of rest or minutes or rotation would be greatly valued. And I suppose, looking at the other Premier League bits, that there is a Manchester derby just after for rivals. I mean, with this one, because we always talk a little bit about wider Premier League, if he loses this, is Amorim heading the way of Ten Hag?
He should be, because City are terrible as well, so that should put real pressure on him. I think so. I think he should be under pressure. I don't think they've started the season well. I just don't think he's proven himself to be a very good manager of this squad, even though he's made all the changes to it. It still doesn't look very good, does it? I thought they were encouraging against Arsenal, but then it's just completely unravelled since then, and maybe that was just a poor Arsenal performance on the opening day of the season. And as you say, if he loses this one, at what point do you start to think, well, we've made the changes to the squad, and at what point can you kind of accept that he just loses as many games as he does? It's absolutely crazy. His record is so bad, and not just kind of like a top 8 side bad. It's relegation zone bad. So but whether this is the game that makes them pull the trigger or not, I'm not sure. But it's he really should be under pressure, because he's doing a terrible job. And I will say, by the way, he was one of the managers I was kind of quite keen on when you looked at his body of work for maybe coming into the Liverpool job. It shows how hard that is to judge and how little I know at times. And I think football's tough, isn't it? Sometimes you got to kind of own your bad opinions, and that was definitely one of mine. Is maybe thinking that he would have been a good fit for Liverpool, because as much as United are a basket case, the extent to which he has been so poor there and looked like he's kind of not got enough experience to turn things around has stunned me, really. So maybe he could be a threat this weekend as well.
Could well be. And I suppose the final one, because this is the bit of where there is a number of games, but it is important to say it's away at Burnley, and then you hit sort of a 3 in a row at home. That should be where it was a good start to the month. I know the derby's always difficult, but Anfield 3 in a row, I know 2 are cup competitions. Does feel like September should, touch wood, get off to a good start.
Yeah, hopefully, and you want to see kind of that rhythm start to build. I know I never feel like you kind of see the best of a team up until around October time, really. But, you've got to work your way there, and so start seeing, these first 3 games really were about just getting through with the points, and there've been some real challenges in there and some brilliant moments. But you've got to but you look at kind of expected goals for, expected goals against. They don't look too great as a picture at the moment, and so you've got to build that body of work and make sure that the underlying numbers are always supporting the fact that you should win the game. And as I say, mitigating circumstances around pretty much all of those games, and they were very strange in their own rights for different reasons, but. This is the point at which you want to see them click into gear now and really start to play. So hopefully, if they can get a good win in the first one and then into a run of 3 home games, what a chance to kind of build some rhythm up.
Fingers crossed for all of those. Fingers crossed for the points. Fingers crossed all the Reds are coming back from international break completely unscathed. All it leaves me to say as ever is, for the time, the insight, and for answering all our questions, David, it is much appreciated as ever.
No problem, mate.
And ladies and gents, that was another Media Matters for Anfield Index.